Legend has it that a pile of baby skeletons was once found in the house.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Guides the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And it's a Most Haunted House versus Most Haunted House Smackdown Castle Edition.
Smackdown.
Yeah.
Cage match.
That's right.
Castle match.
Yeah. So Will is covering Franklin Castle.
Yep.
And I'm covering the castle in Beaufort.
Beaufort?
Beaufort?
Beaufort. So you don't know
Yeah.
how to pronounce any of the words in your story.
I guess not. I thought that one seemed kind of easy, but now that I have to say it out loud, I feel less. I would say Beaufort?
Well, I'll be covering the castle in old Beaufort.
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's pronounced. Oh, let me see here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beaufort.
Oh, William, no, the last 4 letters are F-O-R-T.
Oh, afforded.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, we've been doing this every once in a while. The last time that we did this type of episode was episode 357.
Yeah.
We like taking these things that people say are the most haunted house in right now America, pitting them against each other and making a determination at the end of the episode which of these two really is the most haunted.
Yeah.
And presumably someday we're going to have to really put together the like. You know, I don't know anything about sports, but when they have those brackets.
Theoretically.
I don't know. We're really doing everything for fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm excited to get back to it. I have my place, Franklin Castle, is said to be the most haunted place in Ohio.
Cool.
What's yours? Do they boast any particular phraseology?
Well, I mean, I Googled, most haunted places in America, and this is one of the ones that came up.
Yeah.
So...
This is a pivot though, isn't it?
Yes, because I originally was going to do another place I wasn't sure how to pronounce, and my worry about the pronunciation pinged a memory.
Oh.
I think I've worried about this pronunciation before.
Oh, right.
So then I searched that word on our website, and it came up in our sources for another episode. It was Baleroy Mansion or Balleroy or something in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Which I covered or you covered or something. I'm betting it was me.
It's somewhere in our past.
The Philadelphia Scares Us episode.
Gotcha. Yeah, fair enough.
So I pivoted.
All right, so now and then we got a true castle battle. I don't associate castles with the United States, but there are a lot.
This really isn't a castle. It's just a huge place.
Oh.
It's just a giant house. Is yours a castle? I mean, what makes a castle, you know?
That's a good question. I mean, there probably is an
royalty
actual
living in it?
I don't know about that. Maybe. But there's definitely someone has an answer somewhere.
Yeah.
But in my case, at least, this is like a stone structure with a turret.
Oh, okay.
That to me is a castle.
It's probably a matter of architecture. Like if it's got a turret, it's a castle. This is just like an old, awesome, huge mansion.
I've gone to castles in this country before. Like a dilapidated one somewhere in New Jersey. I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
But so I know castles are kind of a thing, but you don't really associate them with the United States.
Not a whole lot.
So it's kind of interesting that although if there's going to be a castle, odds are it's going to be pretty old and probably going to be haunted.
That is true.
So I guess it makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, let's start the smackdown, William. Would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
Let's do, I said.
That sounds like castle talk to me.
How do?
How do?
I think I would like to hear your story first.
Okay, great.
But with a caveat, you have to do it after a commercial break.
Ooh, you drive a hard bargain, but fine. I agree to your terms. Commercial now.
Commercial stop.
Okay. And now I begin. Okay.
We're getting really good at that.
We finally perfected the art.
Okay.
All right. So this is the castle in South Carolina.
Yeah,
that I can say.
You can say the name of the state.
Yeah. So it's right along a river, which is almost like a moat, which is apparently part of why it's called the castle, but it's also huge. I think that's really the thing, is like this is like a gigantic house.
Big house is castle.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also goes by the Joseph Johnson house, which is definitely not as fun. So I would call it the castle.
Yeah, if your choices are now
Beaufort?
Beaufort
I'm guessing
Castle or the Joe Johnson
they
house?
just call it the castle. I'm specifying that it's in Beaufort, or else it's like confusing.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we'll just say the castle.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah. So the place has some like other history to it, which I will touch on, but its main claim to fame and what got my eyebrow really cocked in interest is that it's supposedly haunted by the 500-year-old ghost. That was phrasing that I saw more than once, which I take to mean that this person died 500 years ago.
Yeah, the ghost is 500 years old.
I guess it's got 500 years of experience under its belt at being a ghost.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does your birthday essentially start over your death day?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay.
So I'll take it. Of a little person court jester named Gauche. Whoa. Whoa. When I saw all that, I said, oh,
Wait a minute.
okay.
Can we? This is weird. Hold on. I'm struggling a little bit.
The ghost is a 500-year-old
Yes.
ghost years.
Yes.
Little person court jester goes by the name of Gauche.
A little person court jester named Gauche.
Yeah.
If I had kind of questions about American castles, an American court jester?
No. Came over from France, Gauche did. Just didn't get there yet.
I mean, that sort of explains it. So we're talking about the year 1500?
They came over in 1562.
So 1492.
That is when Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
We know this to be true.
Yeah.
About 100 years later, well, less than 100 years later, they've got a castle and a court jester in the castle?
Yeah. Okay.
But we don't have a king. Well,
No,
oh, hold on.
kind of.
Anyway.
First of all, this sounds so annoying when I heard that there was a court jester ghost whose name is Gauche.
Yeah.
And also, I did tell you that there was a ghost named Gauche before this, and you said a ghost.
Yeah, a
Which is
ghost.
great. The jingling of the outfit alone. Mm-hmm. Think of the potential for scares, but also annoying if this is just part of your life.
Oh, totally.
The jingle jangle.
Yes.
But the story goes that a fella named of John Rebault came from or Rebault, probably.
Can one of these people just have a name you can pronounce?
No.
Or could you be better read?
No. By the way, I just thought Jacques Renault, Jean Rebault.
Oh my
That's
God.
probably how it goes. that helped me. So
Yeah.
Actually, I am quite cultured.
Of course.
Because Twin Peaks just helped me say this right. Jean Rebault came from France in 1562, bringing along Gauche. Why? Why did he bring his court jester with him? I'm guessing.
Is it like having I don't know.
Was that his assistant?
In the days when you needed a court jester, wasn't the purpose of a court jester to ease bad news?
Yeah.
Maybe you would travel with a court jester because life probably sucked.
Because traveling sucks.
So you're just like, Gauche, tell me a joke.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm feeling blue.
Yeah, because you're traveling on a ship.
Yeah.
And it's terrible and you're barfing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And then I guess Gauche is lightening the mood.
And Gauche is just like, oui,
Well,
monsieur.
Gauche is said to have a very prickly personality.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Everything I'm hearing is that Gauche is a dick. So it doesn't seem like he would really be helping brighten things up. So I don't know.
Okay.
I can't imagine. But Jean Rebault came over and founded a colony called Charles Fort on what is now Paris Island. For context for the locals, just in case.
Wow, South Carolina has a real French thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So yeah, Gauche is said to be an asshole and died. There are a bunch of stories about how Gauche may have died. He could have either been impaled in battle on the grounds that the castle was built on. Because Gauche comes over with this dude. He doesn't live in the castle. The castle is built later on. But he died on the grounds of the castle, is what the story is. And then he haunts it.
Why would he be? Why did he die in battle? By the time that you're putting the court jester on the battlefield, I think you've lost.
That's a great point. Why was Gauche in battle? I don't think he was trained. I didn't see that he was trained for that. All I saw as far as his professional credentials was court jester.
I think Gauche should not have been put on the front lines.
They really set him up to fail.
Those jingling bells gave away his location.
Yeah, that's the opposite of camouflage.
Opposite of a ninja.
Oh my
A
God.
court jester.
That's terrible. Or he could have died in a brawl or by disease, or he could have been hanged.
Oh, Jesus.
We really
No one
don't know.
knows. Okay.
We don't know. But it's said that Gauche's spirit has been seen both inside and outside the home, the castle, and that Dr. Johnson, who is the guy who eventually built the castle, his daughter Lily used to have tea parties with Gauche, where he would show up in full jester regalia and sit down next to her dollies that she's having a tea party with. What the hell?
That's bizarre.
That's a scene.
Yeah. That's really weird.
That's a lot for young Lily to take, I would think.
It's not right.
No. I couldn't find any further explanation or getting into what this system was or code. I really don't understand. But there was some sort of tapping code devised to use with Gauche so they could communicate with him and he could like tap out messages and then they would write the taps down and decode them. I don't really know. And based on that, Lily said that, this is a quote, he always swears and uses words the same way. He has no opinion of anyone. And he called one of the family members a hellion one night.
Oh.
Her brother also said Gauche is, quote, a rough little customer who always swears, and he also said he has no opinion of anyone. So I'm guessing that Gauche said that himself. I have no opinion of anyone here.
Does that mean a bad opinion?
I think so.
You know, like I have no opinion of you is to say like I don't have any kind words.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah.
That's my best guess.
Wow, everyone's crapping on Gauche.
Yeah.
Can I just remind everybody that he was quote unquote brought along?
Right.
He was made to be the court jester and then put into battle, perhaps, or maybe hanged, or maybe died sick. And then even you're like, this guy was a dick. I think Gauche's life sucked.
Maybe he was a dick. What are we going to do? I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Maybe he was horrible.
I'm just saying.
I appreciate you trying to stick up for Gauche, but we have no evidence to the contrary that he didn't deserve exactly what he got.
You didn't know him.
I didn't.
I hope Gauche.
But everyone who knew him seems to say this guy's an asshole.
I hope Gauche visits you tonight.
No.
You'll hear the jingling bells in your bedroom quarters.
I don't want to. Well, I appreciate the devil's advocate of it all, but
Yeah.
there's no evidence to the contrary that Gauche wasn't a little nightmare.
Well, yeah, even more so beyond the grave.
Yeah. Okay. So also visitors to the castle have also seen him. And he apparently spoke out loud in English, which I find very suspicious, to a guest of the house one stormy night. The source of this conversation is a 1993 book called Tales of Beaufort. Beaufort.
Tales of Beaufort.
Yeah.
This is said by Bam Margera.
I'm trying to remember what my other pronunciation was that I wasn't sure about. Now Beaufort feels baked into me. By Nell S. Graydon. And here's a transcript of the encounter. Gauche. This is Gauche. Guest, what are you doing here? Gauche, I live here in the cellar. Guest, why? It reminds me of my English home that I will never enter again. Guest, will you let me see you? Gauche, no, I do not show myself to fools.
Oh, Gauche.
Yeah, Gauche.
He was a dick. Gauche called me a fool.
Yeah. Hey.
Mom.
Come on. So even the typical ghostly things that Gauche did, or actually no, does, actually aren't that typical. I will say, Gauche really, he puts it on for us. Like there is a little bit of,
Razzle.
Yeah, there's a little something there. I was joking before, but then through my research, apparently people do say you can hear the ringing of the bells on his costume. Well,
that makes sense. All I know about a jester really is that like 3-point hat with bells on the ends.
Yeah, me too. And I feel like they have like a 2-color system to their outfit.
Yes.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I feel like that would cheer him up. I would imagine he's usually wearing bright colors. Kind of fun. It's true. But I guess not for Gauche. Everybody has...
Honey, are you okay? You look both scared but also slightly delighted.
Yeah.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
It's really good. People have also reported seeing fog rise from the creek near the house and take the shape of a small man before dissipating.
Oh.
Just picture that.
I'm trying.
That's cuckoo.
I'm trying. It's hard to picture.
Yeah. Takes the shape of a small man and then blows away. I love that.
Is it I'm trying to decide what it means though. Is like
I have no idea. Is Ghosh manipulating it from the outside?
He's piling the smoke in to form his own body.
I think that I think he's standing outside.
We're both miming what it sort of is to build a snowman.
Yeah. I think he's sculpting it into his image to symbolize to the outside people, this is me. I'm here.
Poof.
And then
it's gone. Wow.
He blows it away. That's what I guess. Otherwise, is the smoke clinging to him like shadow for a moment?
It may be clinging to him like shadow.
That's what I wonder.
Yeah.
Haven't heard those things before.
Neither have I.
Haven't heard the ringing of jesters' bells nor smoke in the shape of one.
No.
He's been known to move furniture, open and close doors, classic, and leave red handprints on windows. Whoa.
Red handprints?
Yes.
That's weird.
Blood?
Yeah.
There was no talk of Ghosh being violent. It was really just that he had a prickly, like, pissed off personality.
Yeah, he's got his tongue is sharper than his sword.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
And look, I'm joking about how Ghosh seems like he's a jerk, and he very well may have been.
You better hope he knows you're joking.
Of course I'm joking. Ghosh. People who have differences to deal with are often treated like shit. So I can imagine why Ghosh might be a little bit prickly.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
There's a lot of reason for Ghosh to be like, all suck.
I would guess that, Ghosh might have some defense mechanisms in place.
Yeah.
But there was no talk of Ghosh being violent, so I don't know why the red handprints. Because it makes you think of blood. So I don't know.
Or is it simply
Maybe
like he died
scary.
in battle?
That's true.
You know, like he may have suffered a violent death.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or is it jelly?
maybe it's delicious jelly. You're right.
Yeah, maybe
that's a great point.
Maybe it's jam. So do French people call jelly or jam something different? I bet they call it something fancy.
I bet they have a French word for it. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so there is the gauche of it all, obviously. But not only that, the house was also used as a military hospital by Union troops during the Civil War. And there was a morgue out back where Joseph Johnson, that guy, the original
Johnson
owner,
house, yeah.
He apparently buried family silver and china under the floor, hiding valuables during chaotic times, I guess. And so I feel like that whole situation is kind of classic ghostly activity fodder. So there's like a morgue out back. 1 million people probably died there. That's its own thing. Plus, could Joseph Johnson be coming back for
his lost gold, lost gold of Joseph Johnson?
Yeah. Now, also, you remember what you do to hide valuables if you're a redneck, right?
Please remind me.
You might be a redneck if hiding your valuables means kicking the Nutter Butters under the couch. That's my favorite you might be a redneck if joke.
Whoa. You might be a redneck if joke. That's not what those are called.
What is it?
You do that. Well,
you might be a redneck if yada yada.
It's usually like if you do this, ... you might be a redneck. And no one refers to them as those famous you might be a redneck if jokes.
What do they call them?
I don't know. You might be a redneck. Not if. Why?
Take umbrage with just the one word. Lighten up.
It ruins the flow. Please respect Foxworthy.
I do. So the house stayed in the Johnson family until 1981, when I presume they had enough. I don't know what the deal is, but
1981. It was in the Johnson family for like 500 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like a really long time.
Until like we were born?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
All right.
I know. So close to present day, just, a few years ago in 2022, the new owners opened the doors for merrymakers and trick-or-treaters on Halloween for a classic haunt experience. So they did like a haunted house thing. They made it Davy Jones locker themed, which I think is weird.
What?
Why would you make it Gauche themed.
Gauche themed, or just old time, like everything
Yeah.
you just described to me sounds like Old West stuff, like hiding
Just,
your
like,
gold,
haunted.
having to bury your silverware and stuff out back. Like that is like Marauders, Civil War, Old West.
Yeah.
I just went on a whole tear of Red Dead Redemption stuff. It
Yeah,
all
yeah.
sounds like that. Why would you go Davy Jones locker themed? That's so weird.
No, I don't know. I mean, I could see it being something as simple as like, and I'm making all of this up. Maybe there's a kid in the family and they like love Davy Jones' locker. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like fun for them. You got to make it fun for the kids.
You do, and
So-
sometimes your hands are tied.
Right.
That's a great point. If there was a kid who had just seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, so they've got like the squid face Davy Jones, it's like even more removed, like a Davy Jones balloon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like,
That's like, all right, so we're going to do that because
Tucker-
then it'll be fun for the family to do this together.
well, mostly Tucker will scream at us if we don't do what he wants. Tucker Johnson.
Well, no, it's not the Johnsons. It's the whoever's.
Oh, the whatever.
It's in the show notes. Like,
right.
And now today, it looks like they don't do any ghosty stuff anymore. You can take like just regular old historical tours of the house that highlight the old architecture. I looked at some pictures. It looks stunning.
Yeah.
But it looks totally normal. It's just like a nice old Southern home with like a lady with like tons of flowers on a table, like.
Yeah, welcoming you.
Yeah.
Did they go with like a sort of historical look, or is it kind of modernized inside?
I would say it's modernized, I guess. It's not like crazy super modern or anything, but it doesn't look like a crazy old, home with.
Yeah.
I always go to the example of an apple core
An apple core. Yeah, that is your.
because we always took old historical house tours when we were kids growing up in Connecticut, and I feel like on every tour they're like, and this was what we used back in the day. It's not even a core to peel an apple, and it was
Yeah.
like peeling an apple in like crazy thin strips that you're like watching them turn this apple.
For like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, got it.
Can I go home?
Right. No.
I should have pretended to be sick this morning.
No, it's not like insanely modern, but like it's not like an old. They live there. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they still live there and they
Yeah.
do tours?
Yeah.
Ooh, I would not like
Wait,
that.
am I right? No, I'm not. It looks like they live there. I wonder if there are
This
areas.
house is 100 years old. Could I open this place up for tours?
I suppose so. I mean this house that we're talking
Be
about is
kinda
like
weird.
400 years old or whatever.
This is where I sit when I play Sonic Mania. Do you like that?
What do you think of that?
Would you like to
Any
watch?
questions about it?
Let me show you how I peel an apple, Junior.
This is our Nespresso machine.
Yeah, show them
You
all
press a button.
my sick modern stuff. We have a mesh Wi-Fi network. They didn't have that 100 years ago, I can tell you.
What do you think of that?
PS5, Junior.
Yeah.
Soak it in. These things were hard to get a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now they're quite abundant.
So that's the story of my castle. And I think that it might be the most haunted of the haunted things that I've brought to the table.
I think it is. It definitely feels, because, I think that you've been stuck. Again, one of my favorite things on Guide to the Unknown is when our hands are tied. Mm-hmm. That, I think, is some of the best, where it's like,
Yeah.
we're just trying to find places that claim to be the most haunted. It doesn't mean that we personally believe it or have a
Right.
vested interest.
They say.
But in the past, I do think that you've been saddled with like, so according to this one guy,
And
this place
yeah.
is super haunted and no one talks about that or whatever.
Or
Yeah.
found out. I mean, I remember I loved the story, but I think the very first one, it was like clearly bullshit. Like the
Yes.
woman, we later found it just like made up tons of stuff. Or
Yeah,
something.
she was a known liar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, this one, Gauche is on the move.
The tale of Gauche is interesting. And
Yeah.
having a place that's that old.
Yeah.
Now somebody we record live and somebody posted something that I was very interested in. Hayden
Yeah.
said, could there be any scientific explanation to castles being haunted? Like stone is good at containing energy or
There
something.
is a thing about certainly quartz is supposed to be like energetically potent. So that's a good point. I mean, if quartz is, I don't see why other stones couldn't be as well. It's a good point.
Because otherwise I take it to just be like, if it's a castle, in all likelihood it's old. No one builds a new castle.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
do they? If it, like a super
maybe.
rich person, like a huge mansion,
Yeah.
right? Howard Stern's mansion. I don't know why he's my example.
That's the
but
hugest mansion.
It's a big mansion.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't call it a castle, though, even though it's just a huge house.
I think that it takes a certain person to decide to call their house a castle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's not an actual like architectural castle. Like when I lived on a second floor and I called it the penthouse.
Sure.
It takes a certain kind of person.
Of course. There is a castle near us right now.
Yeah.
Marywald Castle. And it is all made of like stone and stuff.
Right. I wonder if just having a structure made of stone makes you want to call it the castle.
That's sort of
like,
what I was getting
look
at.
like a castle.
I think if it's made out of stone, that's a nudge in the right direction.
Right.
To being able to call it a castle.
I think so.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like deep, rich history, I feel.
Yeah.
About keeping, not necessarily, about just like people have probably died in or around the premises, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
Interesting. All right. Beaufort Castle. Congratulations. Congratulations on your entry into the potentially most haunted places.
Oh, God.
We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Franklin Castle.
Yes.
But first, we want to remind you all that if you're enjoying the show, if you get a kick out of the stuff that we do, please consider leaving us a review. I'm doing things a little bit backwards. Why not keep it fresh?
Yeah.
We really thrive on the reviews that we get from people. It's almost like Tinkerbell.
It absolutely is.
You need to hear the clapping to stay alive. And so you can leave reviews for us on Apple Podcasts. You can give us stars on Spotify. I have a lovely review right here from Jen Susan titled Favorite Podcast. And she says, I'm so happy I found this podcast. I love anything weird / paranormal. I'm fascinated by it. Every episode is entertaining.
Oh, good.
5 stars.
Good. That's great. Good.
Thank you.
We are here to entertain. Thank you very much, Jen Susan. Thank you, everybody who leaves us reviews, tells their friends about us. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't done it already, we would love it if you did. You can leave us a written review like that on Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a starred review on Spotify. 5 stars, please.
Yes, please.
And we would love it if you shared the show on your Insta stories or any other social media, whatever. It's all awesome and super appreciated. So thank you.
Especially right now, I think that everything is still like pretty dire out there, but we always have a good time here. Share some good times. I would love to see people sharing the show on social media.
Yeah.
That would be a thrill ride, Kristen.
It really is. Whenever we like see that when we're tagged or whatever, it's like, oh my God.
I know. Yeah.
So thank you so much. We also have a Patreon where you can go to support us. It's patreon.com/GDTUpod. We have a number of different tiers. Our premier tier and our most popular tier by far is the Demon tier. That's the tier where you can get our weekly podcast, The Netherworld Dispatch, every single Monday. We have a number of other tiers, starting at our Ghost tier at $4. You can get this very show without any ads. So you won't hear this. You won't hear the commercials. You don't have to fast forward anything. It's awesome. And we also have a Discord that you get access to. We have movie commentaries, all kinds of stuff. The Patreon is really, really cool. It's huge to us. We're so appreciative of everybody over there.
Enormously appreciative. It's also nice to begin and end the week. I think it's very fun. Like Mondays are the Netherworld Dispatch. Fridays are Guide to the Unknown. So I don't know. It's really kind of cool that we've got a couple shows kicking. So go check that out. That's patreon.com/GTTUpod. The most recent episode we titled Robert Stack Gave 40 Whacks.
That's a really good name.
I haven't said it out loud yet. It's fun to say. You say it.
Yeah. Robert Stack gave 40 whacks.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
We watched some Unsolved Mysteries, which is one of our favorite things to do on the Netherworld Dispatch. But in particular, we got onto this episode where they were talking about the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah.
Which actually, for the purposes of this episode that we're doing, is like very on.
Yes, that's true.
On topic, like a famous old haunted place. But we also looked at Robert Stack as a person a little bit. Which was fun. I can't believe we hadn't done it before.
Yeah.
We looked at a little bit of his history and then found out that one of his final acting roles he played, of course,
Stoat Muldoon.
Whoa, I can't believe you remembered it. I had to write it down because I wasn't sure I'd remember it. You remembered.
Yeah, old Stoat Muldoon.
He played Stoat Muldoon.
Which is a play on Fox Mulder because a stoat is a fox-like animal that I had never heard of. And now it's in there, I guess.
Congratulations, Kristen. You learned something on our shows. Anyway, he played that character on a show called Butt Ugly Martians. So go check out that episode. That is episode...
Which abbreviates to bum.
That was episode 201 of the Netherworld Dispatch, patreon.com/GTTUpod. Would you indulge me in a quick Willie's Corner?
Yes, of course.
All right.
Of course.
I have not had... I forgot to do this in the last couple of episodes. I have 2 more stories now on the No Sleep podcast.
Oh.
You know this.
You have 2 more?
Well, yeah, two that I haven't mentioned on our show.
Oh, you mentioned the first one.
The first one. So I have 3 total.
Oh, yeah, so that I didn't know.
Kristen.
Oh.
Try to keep up. So in season 22, episode 8, a story of mine called The Hook. And then in the most recent episode as of this recording, season 22, episode 10, The Woman on the 13th Floor, which I also did the narration of. I haven't even heard it.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious. I hope my narration's good. I suppose it was sufficient
Yeah,
to go out.
definitely.
But they also had this amazing cover art.
Yes,
it ended up being the featured art for the episode. One of their artists, Taya Arnman, who doesn't appear to be on social media, but is incredibly talented, made art of my story, The Woman on the 13th Floor, and it's so creepy.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
To me, it evokes a little bit of Lisa from PT, the ghost woman in PT, which was one of my favorite things of all time.
Yes.
I saw this thing and I could not believe it. I'll try to put it in the video version of this episode right here if you want to see it. You can also see it on my social media at The Myth Traveler. But so that was fun. Those are 3 stories that I've gotten no sleep. I don't have any more that I've submitted, but who's to say?
Yeah.
It's been super fun, and thank you all to everybody who checked them out. I hope that you enjoyed them as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
They're great. All right, we're going to have one more commercial break, and then we're going to be back with Will's easy-to-pronounce Franklin Castle.
Okay, so the Franklin...
Whoa!
The Franklin Castle.
Wait, did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. At first it sounded like you didn't. Okay.
This is purported to be the most haunted house in Ohio.
Okay.
All right, so who's to say it may still be the most haunted house in the country? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in Cleveland, and it's got 2 versions of history, which I really greatly appreciate. First version of history we'll go with is you want the true one?
I'll take the fake one first.
Want the fake one first?
Yeah.
All right. So it's said that German immigrant Hans Tiedemann
Okay.
came here, and in 1881 this castle was built for him. And it said that he was a hard-nosed banker who ran his businesses with an iron fist, much the same way he ran his family. He was a cruel man, a harsh man. He had a daughter named Emma who died at 15 years old from diabetes. A couple of months later, his mother died. He and his wife lost 3 more children in the next handful of years, and then his wife died.
Ouch.
It is rumored that he had a hand in their murders. That they were not just deaths in the 1800s, that he may have been a sadistic killer.
I take back my ouch for him.
It's also been said that Hans Tiedemann was having something of an affair, and his lover had a child, and he had that child hanged.
Oof.
And then it's said that a few years beyond that, he died. And then it's said that in the 90s, Nazis operated out of that castle. What else? Rum runners, bootleggers. There was an arson or 2. Anyway,
Wow.
None of that's true.
Right.
Not a word of it is true.
Okay.
Except that there was a man named Hans Tiedemann, and his family did suffer all those tragedies. But he didn't kill them. They just died. Because it was the 1800s.
Oh, my ouch is back.
Yeah, those things occurred without him murdering them. But those are the rumors that have persisted.
Rumors of nastiness.
Yes. Hearsay, slander, you might say. But
That
so
was a little Salt Lake City quote.
what?
That was a little
What's the
Real
razzle
Housewives
dazzle
of
you're doing?
Salt
You
Lake
just
City quote for my friends out there.
what friends?
William, my housewives watching friends.
Oh, okay.
Rumors, nastiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't sell out. I bought in. That's a Salt Lake City quote too. SLC Punk.
Oh my God.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were
Thought about that in a
referring to
while.
at first.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I forgot about that.
all right. So, yes, Hans Tiedemann. I can't pronounce these things either. I don't know. But so
Doesn't feel good, does it?
no, it really doesn't. It does not. It said this, which I thought was sad but fascinating. After he lost, his children, now it's him and his wife. To distract his wife Louisa from the tragedies, Tiedemann began extensive construction on the home, adding a ballroom, which runs the length of the house up on the 4th floor of the manor. 4 floors.
Okay.
Also, during all this building, turrets and gargoyles were added.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, which gave it an even more pronounced castle appearance.
Nice.
But that also made me think, obviously it's not the same thing, but it made me think of the Winchester Mansion a little bit, right? Like, you're just like, well, we got this house and, everyone's gone.
Yeah, right.
I guess I'll just build stuff on it. I'll just work on it.
Yeah.
I'll add a huge ballroom. I don't know. It's
Stuff to focus on.
It's both sad and like eerie, It is rumored that hidden rooms and passages were used for bootlegging. There are no passages or anything like that. Although this is weird. There is a small stairwell that would be used for servants.
Okay.
Not sure what that refers to.
Yeah, right.
To get from the kitchen to the first floor. And then, all right. After the Tiedemans are
I
gone.
think you had it right before. I think it was Tiedemann.
Tiedemann? After the Tiedemans
I'm guessing.
are like fully gone, you almost get like 70 years of just being like, then this person bought the house. And then that guy bought the house.
Yeah.
And someone else bought it too. But here's where a lot more sort of like creepy speculation comes in, because this next thing is not a rumor. This next thing I'm about to tell you is true.
Okay.
In 1975, the 9,000th person to buy the house buys the Franklin Castle. And as they're doing renovations and stuff, they discover in a closet human bones.
Oy, oy, oy.
Just human bones in there. Now, there's not a great description of the bones, what state they're in. Is it a full jangly skeleton? I don't know. However, as kind of like cool and spooky as that is, it's believed they were planted by the new owner looking to gain publicity for his ghost tours on the property.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
But they are human bones.
Yes.
Like, where did they come from?
Yes, you're thinking exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I literally wrote like human bones found in a closet. Cool. But it's believed that they were planted by a new owner, and then I wrote lame. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Where do you get
Even so.
human bones? And believe it or not, I don't know. I don't have an answer about what those human bones were, where they're believed to be from. I don't know.
That's not good.
This is one of those things sometimes in our research where it's like everyone just kind of moved on. Like, doesn't that beg more questioning?
Right.
Why isn't there better information about that?
Yeah, he just didn't get in trouble for that?
I guess 1975 is not that long ago.
No.
What, were we still at a point in human history where people would be like, "Oh, it's just bones.
Yeah, right.
Throw them in the trash.
That's very odd.
Well, you tried to trick us, mister.
Yeah, but we know
We know you planted those.
they weren't
human
authentically here.
bones. Now on your way. No, nothing. Whatever.
Weird.
So, I took a look at hauntedplaces.org, one of our favorite resources. Links will be in the show notes on scaryfun.fun, as always. They described some of what people say are the haunting events
Yeah.
that you can encounter in the Franklin Castle. Legend has it that a pile... Forgot about this. God damn it. Okay. Legend has it that a pile of baby skeletons was once found in the house.
Okay. That's the legend. I'm gonna say it didn't happen.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
A pile.
Right.
A pile.
That's something that is there or not. If that were confirmed, we would all know.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Witnesses say ghostly baby cries can be heard here. Another tale says ghosts have political discussions here.
Oof.
Sounds kind of
What an annoying. You're
irritating.
You're out of the game.
Are they
stay out of
invested? Is a ghost invested in modern day politics, or are they still hooked on the stuff of their day?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you hear Dan Quayle misspelled potatoes? Do you hear?
Right.
I still can't get over it.
Yeah, maybe that's their fun gossip.
Right.
I would hope so. I hope they're not getting involved now.
So
it's just like, you don't have
right.
to worry about this. You should just like enjoy not having to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Just check out. You already did.
Right.
You may as well remain checked out.
Right.
So evidently those political discussions stem from a mass murder when some Nazis were machine gunned in a dispute here.
Where did you get this?
This is on Haunted Places.
Oh yeah.
This is what they do. This is what they have
gunned.
as like, yeah, I know, they were machine gunned. Yet another story tells of an axe murder in the front tower room, and the apparition of the victim has been seen in the window. And a ghostly woman in black called Karen is said to be Tiedemann's illegitimate daughter, whom he hanged in a secret passageway near the ballroom.
Wow.
It's a lot of
action-packed.
It's a lot of ghostly activity. Yeah. It's like the house from season 1 of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
You got ghosts of like every era
Out the wazoo.
in here. But I've got some boots on the ground from Heather.
Excellent.
Heather Reith, who commented on Haunted Places. I've always had a strange obsession with the house, says she. I never quite knew what it was. Maybe it started when my mother drove me past it when I was 9 years old and saw a woman in black peering out of the second store window as we drove by. As I grew older, my curiosity grew. When I was 27, my dreams to enter the house became a reality. I was given access to tour Franklin Castle in 2012. She says that she caught an EVP of a German-sounding man who she believes to be Hans Tiedemann. The EVP has a clear voice telling me to get out of his yard already.
Oh.
Which sounds more just sort of like loosely agitated than like an angry ghost.
Right.
Would you get out of my yard already?
Enough.
Enough with this.
The already is just kind of like an exasperated sort of thing. Would you get out of my yard already?
You've been hanging around all day.
It's enough.
Could you get out already?
Uh-huh.
It's just so irritated.
Yeah.
All right. She said that she played the EVP for a nice man who walked up to the gate.
Want to hear this?
Well, hey. So you stop walking, sir. Let me accost you for a while. He was shocked. They did some more recording sessions. She has pictures of orbs inside, blurry figures. She says that she was even pulled into the house by the back of her shirt as she was leaving by an unknown force, which is like, now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Would you get off my yard already? Isn't that like,
come on in.
Get back here.
Yeah.
Where, you're not going anywhere.
Tiedemann's fickle.
Where do you think you're going? So she wanted to go to the Tiedemann family plot. One day I decided to find it. I drove in and drove around the cemetery for 20 minutes, not knowing where the plot was, and I was ready to leave. I went to answer my phone, so I had pulled over and parked. When I looked out my passenger window, I was parked in front of the Tiedemann plot. This house, that family. I don't know what it is, but if I could ever go back in Franklin Castle, I would.
Nice.
It does sound fairly loaded.
Yeah.
You know, like I understand having an obsession with like a local oddity thing.
Absolutely.
The fact of the matter is you can, it seems, go into the Franklin Castle. I think that it's been back and forth for years and years, changed hands so many times, but I do believe that currently they will do tours.
Okay.
And
is
events.
it in Franklin? Is that why it's called that? Like, why isn't it called Tiedemann Castle?
That's a great question. I think it's in like something called like the Franklin section of.
Okay, yeah.
Of, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like a part of the town.
It's a geographical.
Yeah, geographical
name.
thing. There was a book. This is going to gain in importance in a minute here. William G. Kresge or Creechy, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, wrote a book, Haunted Franklin Castle.
Nice.
And I read a couple of chapters of it. It was kind of interesting. I've got a solid review here. 3 out of 5 stars. Okay. It's certainly researched in regards to every German that landed in Cleveland and their third cousins.
Ouch.
I guess I was looking for more for the haunted aspects, which were only towards the end of the book and rather sparse. If you're looking for some Cleveland history, especially the history of the Tiedemans, this is your book. If you're looking for paranormal and hauntings, I'd look elsewhere. Which I thought was kind of interesting. Rose Flowers said, didn't like, gave it to a library. 1 star.
Everyone's a critic.
That's like a history book. What are you expecting? You're not going to read it for like a fiction, type energy of like, and the ghost arosin
Well, I will
from its tomb.
If it's called Haunted Franklin Castle and the guy's saying that there's barely anything about ghosts, it
Yeah,
really
fair
doesn't
enough.
seem, yeah.
I guess so. So there are there are at least a few shows that have visited Franklin Castle.
Yeah.
I watched part of one, and then I watched the entire of another. I watched part of Paranormal Lockdown,
Okay.
and something about Nick Groff. I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, he's a little off-putting.
It's a little boring.
Yeah.
A little boring. But they were the first paranormal show to get to go to Franklin Castle.
Nice.
Which is why I wanted to see it. I was like, this is kind of interesting. These
Yeah.
doors have never been open for a TV show before.
Yeah, totally.
He did say, confusingly, I think we covered this show. I think you did on Dead Time with Liz Sauer.
No, we did another show with him called Ghosts of Shepherdstown.
Oh, right. He said 1,000.
Yeah.
So I guess on Paranormal Lockdown, he's like, hard to believe we'll be locked inside this place for 72 hours. I was like, that is hard to believe. That seems like a lot.
That's a long time.
They didn't even walk in with so much as a Pringle can. It didn't look like they were prepared at all. But so he said, any attempt to possess us will be hard to ward off as our mental state weakens.
Oh, God.
That sounds
Seems like you're setting yourself up for real trouble.
horrible.
Yeah.
I just watched Rocco Bodie sit in a room for 7 days straight. You're telling me you can't handle a whole castle for 3 days?
Seems like he was really setting himself up for possession as his mental state weakens.
He totally was.
Yeah.
So I sort of bounced from that, but I've got some good information to you from this next show. A little known show. I don't know if you've heard of it. Ghost Adventures.
Yes, I know of it.
Season 23, episode 2.
Nice.
Zach Bagans is back. And not only that, he interviews the author of the book I was citing, Bill Creechy.
Ooh, Creechy.
Old Creechy is back.
Nice.
Okay. Bill Creechy, in his interview with Zach, I don't think I've seen a more contentious interview
Really?
in quite some time.
Ooh.
Bill Creechy is like, yeah, there are all these stories about this house. None of them are true. The Tiedemans, for my research, were kind people that suffered tragedy after tragedy. And Zach takes on this irritating, combative persona because now he's booked an interview with this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy's not giving him anything to work with. This is I'm providing my own editorializing of what I think is going on. I think Zach is like, I've got to make sure I spin this.
Yeah.
So he starts going, well, we've heard that there were murders. So there were murders everywhere and people were murdered, and so that's why it's haunted. And the guy's like, I don't think it's not haunted.
Yeah.
And then finally Zach eventually resorts to, he's like, weren't there bones found in the house? And Bill Creechy goes, yes, that is true. And he goes, so those bones, that could have been Tiedemann's victims. And he goes, no, I'm telling you, Hans Tiedemann never murdered anybody.
Yeah.
And his name has been dragged through the mud for over 100 years. He did not murder these people.
Yeah.
And Zach goes, well, those bones were said to be old. And he's like, okay, yes, they are old. And Zach goes, are you telling me that those bones could not have been from somebody who was murdered? It's like, what? And he goes like, couldn't the person have been murdered? Isn't that possible? And they cut to Bill Creechy and he goes, I would say that's possible, yeah. And then they freeze frame on him with like a boom. As if like Zach like got him to finally agree that like these are the murdered remains of a victim. He said it's possible. No one seems to know what these remains are, which still is baffling.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But if you ask me the question, isn't it possible that it was a murder? Of course the answer is yes.
Sure, because we just don't know.
Lots of stuff is possible,
right.
Zach.
It's also possible this person tripped and fell down the stairs.
Absolutely. But it gets even weirder because even when they move on from Creechy, Mr. Bagans, his voiceover is like, is it possible that with Creechy's book, the spirits have been controlling him, getting him to tell the story of their house?
Oh my God.
So he insinuates on the show that Creechy is
possessed.
being manipulated by the spirits, which is crazy.
That's nuts.
Especially because Creechy's position is this place isn't haunted.
Right.
So why would the ghosts have like some skeptic-minded person thing going on? Like that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, to cover up for them.
It gets even weirder because Creechy later on the internet,
That's nuts.
it seems that good old Bill Creechy did not like Zach Bagans' insinuation that he was being manipulated by ghosts. So this is an article I got from WKYC.com. He posted this on Facebook, Bill Creechy, and that post does not appear to exist anymore, but this article quotes it, so I've got something.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm less than thrilled with the way they edited my responses to some questions. Not exactly happy with how they implied that the house has some dark influence over me. Completely pissed off on how they sensationalized the death." Oh, they said that, this was crazy. So Hans Tiedemann had a son. Carl Tiedemann. Carl Tiedemann died. It's confusing, admittedly. It is confusing. It's said that he got into a car accident. And right on the heels of the car accident, basically what's described is like he got out of the car and jumped off a bridge, which is wild.
Yeah.
Zach's position is that Carl Tiedemann was being tormented by the house.
Yeah.
And it drove him to take his own life.
Oh my God.
So now here's Bill Creechy saying, "I'm pissed off how they sensationalized the death of Carl Tiedemann. The only reason it was mentioned in my book is because it was part of the family's history, not to invent a curse."
Yeah, right.
So that's crazy.
Yes.
That really, I think, is like inappropriate.
Yes, it's pretty egregious.
Of Mr. Bagans. Not that I am shocked.
No.
We've seen him stoop lower.
Oh, absolutely.
But I will also say this show came out within the last 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And modern day Bagans, I didn't think was quite as... Like, we've seen young Bagans do some questionable stuff.
Get in the dirt. I'm disappointed to hear this.
Yes, I'm very disappointed in your behavior, Zach.
Yeah, no.
Shame on you. And shame on your program, Mr. Bagans.
That's right.
Tisk.
Shame.
Hey, Bagans?
Tisk, tisk.
Tisk, tisk.
Yeah.
So, not only that, this was weird too. Former resident Helen is interviewed. She used to live there. And she describes that she felt like she was pushed down the stairs.
Yeah.
She fell down the stairs. She feels like she was pushed down the stairs. But she also says to Zach, she's like, "I feel like it was some sort of like a warning."
Yeah.
Me being pushed down the stairs. And he goes, well, where I come from, if you're being pushed down the stairs, that's an attack. That's violence. That's not a warning, Helen.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right, Zach. I don't know who pissed in your Wheaties. Can you please leave us
Stand
alone?
down.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
And then he even in his voiceover, when he's done talking to Helen, they again freeze frame on her and drop the saturation to make it look spooky. And he goes, "Just as Bill did, Helen is downplaying the severity of a very dangerous situation."
Don't mansplain Helen's own event to her.
Helen experienced what she experienced,
That's
Zach.
right.
You weren't there, bro.
No.
Makes me sick.
Makes me absolutely ill.
Makes me sick. And then, of course, they spend the rest of the episode looking at their goosebumps together. At one point, they do. This was pretty shocking. This is pretty shocking. Zach feels like he's being pushed.
Yeah.
He kind of a little bit, yes. He's like standing at the top of the stairs. He's like, boys, I feel like someone's pushing me. He said it like present tense, like he's actively
It's happening right now.
being pushed against the wall at the top of the stairs.
Against them?
Ouch. Yeah. Get your hands off me, Tiedemann.
Unhand me.
And then they turn to putting on not infrared, heat camera. What's that called? Whatever.
God, thermal.
Heat camera. Yeah. Thermal camera, yes. So they're looking through the thermal cameras and they turn and they look at Aaron, which is important. But behind Aaron, there is like a warmth thing on the wall.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh my God, do you see that? And I did. I was looking at Aaron's shirt, which is covered in stains and shit. Like on the camera, it's like blotches everywhere. I don't know what this dude was doing. Holy shit. But they go like, it's back there on the wall. A handprint. And it doesn't look like a handprint at all. And then Zach goes, we tested it, and it is possible that someone rested their hand on the wall. And then they smash on the screen, debunked. Over the footage of Aaron in his shit shirt. It's like, dude, I know you want to have your like, we think we see it through a debunked segment.
Oh
Could you have spared your bro a little bit?
Yeah.
He's front
Look
and
out
center,
for him.
covered in stains. It's like he had a spaghetti dinner. It went hog wild. And they could have cut that out so easily.
My God.
He did his boy dirty, is what I'm trying to say to you.
That's so
It's I'll have to show you. I'll try to put that in the show too. It's so crazy looking. It looks like a nightmare. I don't know what that guy did to his shirt. Anyway. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my God.
You know how it goes. The rest of the episode, they get an EVP that tells them to run, and they see a shadow person.
Do they run?
No, they stay in there. They see a shadow person that looks almost identical to the shadow of a person walking outside. It's incredible. Kristen, bone chilling.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And then also,
God.
at one point, Zach is like, "Look at this, we're getting goosebumps, and it's hot in here." And I looked, and on Reddit. The
These dorks are so funny.
The Ghost Adventures subreddit, all these people seem to hate them.
Oh, I know.
They absolutely appear to hate Zach Bagans and everything.
Yep.
So Known Baller wrote, it's like 80 degrees in here. And then they wrote, Zach is wearing a velvet hat and a jacket. It's like, if it's so hot, Zach,
Oh, God.
take off your velvet hat.
Yeah, maybe take off one layer. Oh, it's so funny. What a show.
Anyway, that's
Franklin Castle.
That's the Franklin Castle.
So
what do you make of it? This is a hard one.
yeah, this is a hard one. I don't really know.
I feel relatively content in saying that I think yours is more haunted. I think the idea that you've got one guy, really, this gauche,
Yeah.
who has been up to his mischief for a good 500 years.
Yeah, just the length of time. I feel like yours has a lot of good documentation.
It's also got this dog piling, though. This,
Right.
like, it's this and that, plus
Right.
this, plus that, plus that. You've got gauche.
Yeah.
You've got, like,
Gauche.
Gauche.
And
You've got
he's
an
been
icon.
there. Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah, Gauche is pretty iconic. Yeah, I do feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows Gauche.
Everybody knows gauche.
You know.
I think that the Beaufort Castle takes it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Franklin. Listen, you
Pretty good,
gave it
though.
your best shot.
Yeah.
and it does appear to be beautiful. Like
Yeah.
looking at pictures, it does. Here's a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the financial sector, which we don't often get into. The castle was the last thing that I saw about like numbers was somewhere around 2012. It was bought. This is like 4 stories, as I've described.
Right.
They say that there are like 18 rooms and like crazy.
Yeah.
It was bought about a decade and change ago for $260,000.
What?
That's
That sounds crazy.
like nothing.
How can that be?
I don't know. But we're moving to South Carolina.
Yeah. No, stuff is cheaper down there.
Unbelievable.
But I think it's all relative. Then you get paid less. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
and
that
the
kind of thing.
castle has been burned, 5,000 times. Yeah. It's a castle, so it probably has that like, you know how toilets are in castles, right? It's kind of just like a
Do
hole
I know
that-
how toilets are in castles? Yeah, I know.
It's kind of. Quit bragging.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for me.
You ever see those crosscuts of a castle? How they were like, it's like a hole, you sit on it,
Yeah.
and then it's just a pit that goes down
Yes.
inside the walls.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yes, past your room.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No thanks.
yeah.
Woo.
I'm out ski.
Well, there you go, everybody. Castle v. Castle is over. Hope you enjoyed it. We are going to be back next week. But if you want us even sooner, you can go to patreon.com/GTTUpod. We'll be back on Monday.
Absolutely. Super fun.
Yep.
Check out the Netherworld Dispatch. Once again, thanks to everybody who already does.
Yep.
Please go check out my stories
Yes.
on the No Sleep podcast. When last I described it, I think the only one that was up was the fast food.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now I've got The Hook in season 22, episode 8, and The Woman on the 13th Floor, which I also read in season 22, episode 10.
Yeah.
Just go poke around, check those out. Super fun. Thank you all so much once again. You can also follow us on social media.
Yep, we are at GTTUpod everywhere, and we are individually there too. I am at Chillin' Kristen.
I am at The Myth Traveler. So hey, we'll be back next week. Don't know what we're doing, but it's going to be spooky.
We'll figure it out.
Until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld. Go Lee.
A successfully perfect sign off.
That's right.
Yes.
We've done it again.
I would like to go to the castle here in town.
Oh,
I've
Marywold?
gone inside some local historical places.
Yeah.
Maybe I know that it's like the offices of like a
Like a real estate thing,
real
I
estate
think.
company. Yeah. I wonder if we could get in there. And then once we're in, how are they going to get us out?
I think it probably just looks like offices inside.
Now we live in
And
the castle.
I think we can just go in and be like, hey.
All right, here's what we do. You dress up like a jester. We come in, you're telling jokes. So much fun. They forget to ask us to leave.
That's right.
Now we're haunting the place.
Whoa.